Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
I don't know. Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Because his wife died.
What? I don't get it.
Think about it a second.
Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle? I might have fucking slap you. Naughty!
I'm sorry.
Oh god.
I love you.
I love you too. What's up, yo? This is NekoPastel, and welcome back to the letter.
Hi.
Welcome. So, what happened in the last episode? We got away from the pale bitch, and we ended up having a very heated argument.
You're just as responsible for this as I am.
I think the fuck not, you trick ass bitch.
This ain't the place for petty squabbles.
Yes it is, motherfucker, yes it is.
Rebecca flew off her tits again.
Oh yeah, like she always does. They can't be tamed. They can't be tamed. Here we are again in Galway show. In the Galway show. Right. We're in the Galway show again and having a drink. Are we having a drink? I don't even know.
Nobody's had a drink yet, actually.
No one's had a drink yet. We're just there to calm down, and I've encountered Zach once again, and we have a choice here.
Choice must be made.
You only get in the way. I'd feel better if I didn't have to worry about you.
Both of these are dickish.
Yeah, to be fair, but we obviously want to go with the one that's going to improve our relationship with Zachary.
How much is it? Oh, I actually thought Isabella's a bit higher. Zachary's is higher.
It's still pretty hoy. So you know
Hi.
Hi, I'm Timmy. Let's go for the one that we think would improve that. Let me quickly check the relationship again.
Alright, hold on. Can you put it up again a second?
Huh?
The old test of I'll put my finger there and see if it works.
Ah, okay, fair enough. So
I think you'll only get in the way. Seems like the more dickish of the two, but I could be wrong.
I feel let's go for this one first because
it's worth a try.
There are only two ways that this will end. It went up, so that's definitely the good one.
It went up.
Fine with that. We're fine with that, so let's go with that. There are only two ways this will end. I agree with him and we take him with me, or I agree with him and drop the idea altogether. Neither appeals me more than the other, especially when we're all desperate for answers and a way out. If all it'll take is a little more honesty to make him drop his harebrained idea, so be it.
Look, man, bro, Z-man, Zachary, listen.
Bro, dude, man, chief, big guy, chief, bro, dude.
Bruh. You were gonna say there?
Oh no, I just think it's weird how he's like, oh, he can't be doing such a harebrained scheme. He's like, damn, you can't be so stupid to go to the mansion with me. I need to do something smart, like go to the mansion myself,
yes. Alone. Like, what? Okay, sure.
I know you only want to help.
Like hell! This ain't just about helping, Ashton! You're throwing yourself in the thick of it, on your own!
Oh fuck, right. Zach's finally lost the plot.
Was your fall last night really that bad? Did you hit your head hard? I honestly can't tell if you've gone stupid or just plain suicidal.
My head's okay, Zach. But it won't stay that way if we don't do anything about this. Someone has to.
Seriously, this is already a desperate move. The longer we dally, the faster we're going to lose our options. Do we even have one? Looking back at it, this whole business with the ghost seems perfectly set up to drive us into a corner. Either until we lose our mind, or she gets us. It's starting to feel as if there isn't an escape. We've already become her playthings the second Isabella found that letter. Our lives are in the hand... that our lives are in her hands ticks me off big time. But the idea of watching the people I care about die helplessly, more so, they're much safer here than with me. It's a selfish thought, I know, born out of fear. So in case things go awry... Did I say that right?
Aye.
So in case things go awry, the very last thing I want to happen is for Zach to take the fall with me.
Why not?
I've already made enough mistakes.
And that means it's just you.
Just me.
Suddenly, he clams up. Although his actions, the restless shift in his shoulders, his mouth pressing close in a tight line, and how he starts off again in a quiet note. It all gives away his real thoughts, long before 2 words have even made it out of his mouth.
I'm sure you already know about this. Maybe this is you trying to make amends, or whatever. I don't know. You're making your own decisions here. But if something happens to you, it'll be just that. You'll just be another dead body out there. Please, don't do something like this.
Don't worry. I'm not stupid enough to get myself killed. I just want things to go back to normal, Zach.
Another dead air follows at the heels of the one admission. The meaning of my words, too heavy, too striking, it stuns us into another lull. Lull.
Lol.
Optimism aside, we're both aware that's possible. That's impossible, should I say. We're going to have to deal with the trauma right after. There will be the images, the voices whispering inside our heads, the foreboding feeling, the stench of blood, gore, and death trailing after us. We may survive this, but those things, they will remain in us for a long time. One does not survive something like this without it leaving something in you. Just the mere thought of what might come right after makes me dread it. What this has changed in all of us. But I suppose that outcome is more acceptable. The lesser of 2 evils.
3 hours.
My head snaps up and I turn to him, puzzled. He's staring at his hands with a thoughtful expression, brows furrowed in deep concentration. Like he's trying to choose the right words to convey what he's about to say.
3 hours? For what?
That's more than enough time to go there, to check things, like you said, and travel back here.
Just making sure.
If you don't show up here beyond that, I'm going after you.
From his tone, it sounds almost like a warning. I'm sure it's not his intention. But hearing something like that from a person like Zach, I can't help but chuckle and throw in a jibe despite how dire things are. Just like old times.
Make that 4.
What? You said you're just gonna check things. Why would you even need that long?
Speed limit? I'm a ranked law enforcement officer, Zach. I'm supposed to set an example.
I so wanna punch you right now.
Of course, Zach never carries it out. In light moments like this, it's just how he is, how we are. 2 seconds, I might have just forgot something.
Oh.
Yes, we have to read what's in here.
Oh!
I just completely forgot about this, so let's just cut out this bit here. Well, not cut this bit out here. But yeah, let's just cut the conversation between these two short, and we'll just like read these real quick, because this is the thing that's happened in the last episode. I nearly missed this out. So I'll let you go ahead, Kieran.
Monday, October 31st, Halloween. After spending the night at the local park, Ashton and his friends tried to figure out where their next step will be. However, coupled with fatigue and stress, the conversation quickly went downhill. Frustrated, Ashton walked out, suggesting they cool their heads first.
Thanks, Becca. The fuck?
I know, bitch, you best be calming down. After the argument at the park, Ashton took his friends someplace where they could rest. G welcomed them to his pub without question. While the others were sleeping, the detective and the bartender had a little chat about the past and what had changed over the years.
But yeah. He wasn't having any of it. He just done
He just kind of went, ha ha ha!
Bye.
Thanks, bitch!
Aye. But without further ado, let's continue with this, because I just completely... did I read this?
Yeah.
I read that, didn't I? I'll read
3,
it
2, 1, you're back in the room.
I'll read it one more time. Of course, Zach never carries it out. In light moments like this, it's just how he is. How we are. Oh, hello, speak of the devil. He doesn't look happy at all. Is it because Zach shouted? Probably. Unfortunately, G chooses the next moment to show up. He slams the flat of his palm on the counter and shooting us both a stern look. Although his tone is nothing short of jovial. Juvenile. I'm putting a definition up for that, and I'm remembering to do so because in the last few episodes I forgot to put in a definition, and Patty pointed that out, so I'm so sorry, Patty. In fact, I'll put that up here as well.
Oh, like jovial just means like happy-go-lucky,
Oh, well, fair
joyful.
enough. I'll put that up anyway.
Yeah.
And the other definition I missed out,
Definitions.
because you're here to learn on NekoPastels, as always, and I think it's time for some definitions.
Last episode was really educational.
Yes, it was actually, to be fair, in terms of gun laws. Shit like that. The disapproval's clear in it. He's obviously misunderstanding the situation. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, there we go.
Boys, drummer's nice and all. I used to watch these bloody god-awful afternoon serials with one of my brothers many, many years ago. But listen, I am not having one in my pub, alright? You two want to fight? Go out.
A pregnant pause.
Interesting choice of
That's
adjective.
I'm gonna slip that into my vernacular. A pregnant pause. Then without any preamble.
Look at Zach's face.
As we just noticed. Then without any preambles, did I say that right?
Oh, preamble.
Without any preamble, Zach and I are both snickering at G's glower melts into confusion. We both show no sign of stopping. He simply shakes his head and turns away. Ah, bless. I'd like to think it's better this way. Better than we part on light terms, so Zach won't have to see every little insecurity, every little doubt in me right now. He's seen enough. The last thing I want him to glimpse is another display of weakness. Not when he still stares at me with the same unerring confidence in his eyes. When our mirth dies down, before anything could be said further, before I change my mind, I step away from them, giving Zach's shoulder a quick few pats, mumbling a lame excuse about taking another short nap under my breath. Altogether, burying the stray thought that flashes fleetingly in my head. Zach has seen me at my lowest plenty of times. Why does all of it matter now? Oh, he really did go for a nap, okay.
Huh.
Fair enough. And it was a pretty, by the looks of it, it's a pretty decent nap, I've got to say.
Yeah.
No crazy bitches, nothing like that. He's fine.
Makes a change.
Yeah, which is different. The sun hangs lower when I stumble back into consciousness and drag myself downstairs. Around this time, the patrons usually start to trickle into the main lounge until it reaches a peak around midnight. Today, however, it remains thin. But considering what day it isn't too worrisome for the kind of business G runs. He has always complained about the lack of a decent crowd on week start, although he doesn't really begrudge his customers for it.
Surely you would get a pretty good pickup on Halloween.
Aye, to be fair, you have people coming in dressed as shit, you know what I mean? It's a special night. No one wants to start the week with a bad case of a hangover, after all, even him. Which makes the concerned look he gives me come off as a bit too odd. With the kind of danger we're in, this swiftly puts me on edge, even before sleep completely fades from my mind.
Something wrong, G?
G hums, but there's an undertone of annoyance in it despite his casual and open movements.
Just kind of thought it was funny, just like, something wrong, G?
And only after he finishes wiping a tumbler and carefully setting it face down on the table does he give me an answer. Oh, the way he stares at me honestly makes me squirm. It feels like I'm being stared down by my primary school teacher for sleeping in class again.
Nothing much. Monday's still a slow day for this place. But you might want to check on your friends, kid. Looks like one of them woke up on the wrong side of the bed while you were out.
Oh, I wonder who you could be talking about. Another question forms in my head along with a small confused frown. Though before a single syllable slips past my mouth, Rebecca's irate voice rings from some part of the main lounge. I knew it. Rebecca's
Fucking called it.
fucking mad.
Someone pick up that phone because I fucking called it.
But to be fair, you know, she's a Scottish lady, so let's not even mince words.
Yeah.
From the sound of it,
Aye, we're the same.
It appears woke up on the wrong side of the bed is a complete understatement.
Alone? You know we can't just go in there. But we don't have any other choice, Becca. There's really no other way. We have to go there. If you'll just...
Isabella sounds just as mad, to be fair. She's no any quieter.
Isabella? No.
That doesn't sound too comforting. Once Rebecca assumes that kind of tone in an argument with Isabella, it usually ends with one of them walking out or both giving the other the silent
I don't
treatment.
think this is going to end.
No. It lasts for about a week at most if it's really bad. Which really isn't what we need right now. No kidding. We've hoped the bad blood from this morning will simply blow over after all of us has gotten a decent rest. I should have expected things won't be the same with them as it is with Zach and I. Turns out sleep isn't just what some of us need.
In all honesty though, like, if you accuse someone of basically killing all of your friends because you... Like, this was the kind of person, she tried to warn them several times and knew that shit's actually real. Rebecca suddenly, well, it's your fucking fault for doing this.
Yes, just whatever. Even G appears to understand it. In spite of his efforts to look unconcerned as possible, there's a tense set on his shoulders. A nervous edge lingers in his eyes as it occasionally flickers over where Rebecca and Isabella's voices are coming from.
That can't be good for pub business.
That can't be good for pub business. He doesn't want to deal with this, especially at the start of another busy week. Neither do I. Things have worked out well between them before without Zach or I meddling. But the imploring gaze G directs at me leaves me with no other choice. It almost feels like he is guilting me into doing something about it. I hate that it's working.
You know how I run this pub, kid. No fist fights, no cat fights, only good booze, bad puns, and off-key singing.
I'm game for that. I'm so game for that. Although, whenever you tell me a bad pun, I triggers. I'm joking. Your puns aren't bad. They're actually really good.
They're terrible.
I just like to make a scene. I'm over dramatic.
Go fix it before it blows up in your faces. I'd hate to throw two girls out of this place over a petty argument.
It's probably not as petty if Rebecca's already shouting like that, but I give him a nod nevertheless.
Sorry about this, G.
He hums something under his breath for an answer and waves me off, turning away and returning to his work without another word. Even with the lack of a sizable crowd, he likes to keep busy. We're the same in that regard. I can't remain still, always has to stay moving. Let me try that again. Can't remain still, always has to stay moving, doing something, thinking, whatever keeps the brain at work. I leave him to it shortly after. Rebecca's voice rings out once again, followed by Isabella's. But part of me wants to thank him for all the trouble he is taking for people he barely even knows. Aye.
It's okay.
Once this is over, I should probably find some way. In the meantime, I have this immediate problem to fix. Gotta get to this before it turns into a shitstorm both of them will regret.
Dude, it's not there already.
To be fair, and I know both of them will. For all of Isabella's complaints about Rebecca's bossy attitude, or the annoying Rebecca sometimes finds the other's childlike demeanour, it's a friendship they both cherish in their own way.
Oh, the bad music started.
The not even scary music, just angry.
Yeah.
Aye. Like,
last time I heard this, there was an angry redhead talking about her little bastard baby.
aye. There's like flames going on in the pub right now between these two. There's going to be an anime fight, I know it. Rebecca's already on her feet when I spot them in the almost deserted area of the pub. I'm willing to bet my entire life savings that people are staying away only because of the brewing storm. That's the word I was looking for, storm, not fire. There's a storm. Rebecca can have quite the mood when she's crossed.
Honey, you got a big storm
Coming. I can't speak for Isabella. I rarely ever see her seething, but from what I've heard, it can be very unpleasant. The way she's glaring up at the redhead from her seat, regardless of how much the other woman towers over her right now, already says everything. Empty plates have been left neatly piled in one corner of the table they occupy, a conversation that turns sour sometime after late lunch then. Good thing they're already done and nothing's been spoiled. Oh shit, she's mad! Because in the next moment, before I can approach and intervene, Rebecca slams her palm on the table. It sends the silverware clinking sharply against the surface. Isabella flinches momentarily. We both do, though she shows no indication of surrendering in the face of Rebecca's temper. Everything escalates from there.
You've already gotten us in enough trouble because of this little ghost everything.
You're blaming me again? I don't think so.
Bitch!
Batch!
And you can't expect everyone to fix your mess. You keep on putting the blame on me, but you're the one who didn't listen. All of you! If you just listened in the first place, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But you're too busy acting like you know what's best for everyone, when in fact you're the one who's being selfish. I'm the one who's selfish, yet you're still going to do what you want anyway, even if the people around you are already beside themselves with worry. This is how you've always acted since we met, and I'm tired of it. Sometimes I wish you never even came here, because all you've given us is a headache. You know why I had to come here. My dad. Your dad has nothing to do with this. It has always been you and your whiny, careless self that has always been the problem.
Maybe I should have stepped in earlier. No kidding. Like, Becca, I don't know what is going into her, but she's got an attitude, honestly.
Might be the pale bitch.
Probably. We need to keep an eye on her. Maybe I should have said something the moment Rebecca slammed the flat of her hand on the table, or the second I've entered the area. Either way, it's too late to act. Harsh words have already been hurled between the two. Words more cutting than any blade, each and every one of it digging a wound too deep in the person they've been aimed at. For a long time, Isabella sits there in silence while Rebecca stands unmoving, arms crossed and breathing heavily. Despite the lack of words between them, they're both vibrating with anger, refusing to meet the other's eye. Ever so slowly, the atmosphere in the room turns thick and smothering. A strained air, no one in the immediate vicinity, including me, dares to break, until the one at the centre does so. Rebecca definitely won't. At some point in our friendship, she has grown to become a woman firm with her opinions. She's never going to back down from this, not when she knows she has a point. Isabella, on the other hand, there's always been a certain stubbornness in her. As frustrating as it is to see sometimes, it's what has gotten her through life's hardships. Perhaps even the only thing that has. When you have nothing else, people tend to cling on to what they have within themselves instead. But she also knows when to withdraw, when a struggle turns useless, a kind of awareness almost second nature to her. When enough is enough, Isabella abruptly stands and marches towards the exit, in fast, rigid steps away from the heart and pain words they've let fly earlier. She bumps into me in her haste, the impact nearly knocking her off her feet. Instinct kicks in at the last moment and I reach for her, grabbing her arm instead in a steadying grip. Oh. Surprise flits across her face, an expression mirrored by Rebecca behind her. Neither of them have noticed me. However, that doesn't mean I won't have things to say about this. Oh my god, are you serious?
Yang, you evil bastards, you've made his pick.
Take Isabella's side, agree with Rebecca.
Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like Rebecca has had... See, like, since the time we've played her in her chapter and moving on,
Yes.
she has blown, her temper has gotten her into situations that have blown it way out of proportion.
Yes.
I feel like she needs a humbling.
Yes.
I feel like she is far too aggressive with Isabella, who's only trying to help.
Yes.
And I honestly feel that she has no purchase in this argument because she's blaming her for seeking help from her friends.
Yes.
And for some reason she's like, well, I don't know what her argument is. She's like, you shouldn't have told us, and yet she's like, you keep doing things on your own. It was only by seeking her friend's advice that she actually accidentally doomed them.
Yes. I think it's pretty clear what choice we're doing here. We're taking Isabella's
You want
side.
to see the relationships first?
Aye. I can tell that Rebecca's is probably going to go down.
This is guaranteed. This is going to be like, for what I'm guessing, either one's going to take a pretty nasty blow.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, like, I just think Rebecca, I can't stand with Rebecca in this one. She's just way out of line here.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Let's take Isabella's side.
Oh, that went down a massive chunk.
And it went up for Isabella, of course.
That went down a crazy ass amount.
That's not cool, but you know what? Whatever. Rebecca really is in the wrong, I'm sorry, she really is. Rather than answer, once her shock subsides, she merely averts her gaze and hastily wipes the tears off her cheek, like she only noticed them in that moment. Then without another word, or even meeting my eyes again, she gently brushes away my hand and runs off, leaving an awkward hush in her wake. Rebecca soon slumps in her chair. Isabella is just left, gingerly reaching up to press the bridge of her nose and breathing out with a ragged exhale. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because that's what Ashton does. She's probably picked that habit up from him. Arguments like this have always drained both their patience and energy, usually more than her rowdy students do, despite being no stranger to it. It's no excuse for her to say those things though, and my disapproval must be clear enough on my face. When she finally glances back at me, her exhaustion immediately shifts back to annoyance, her mouth curving down in a tight frown.
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
Oh god. I cross my arm in response, waiting for a reaction. Let me try that again.
You're right.
It's the energy juice, it's fine. I crossed my arm in response, waiting, a reaction verging on instinctive in the face of her irritation. Regardless of my opinions about this, I don't say anything yet, not until she's the one willing to talk.
She really doesn't have any purchase to be this angry.
She really doesn't. She's losing her mind. Another minute passes while we stare each other down, but eventually she breathes out again and relaxes her rigid posture.
What do you want, Ash? If you have something to say, just tell me, or I'm going back upstairs.
Did you really have to say it like that?
Well, how do you want me to answer her? Do you want me to just let her go there and do what she wants? I know you won't be too happy if I did that.
That's a low blow, Rebecca. Even for you. We all know she wasn't even planning on staying here this long. There was no need to bring it up if all you wanted to do was stop her.
Did you even see how she's acting? She's not a child anymore. Even my students can do better.
Becca, she'll listen if you'll just ask her properly. I know you mean well and you do have a point, but please be a little more thoughtful next time. Go think about it for a while.
By some miracle, the whole discussion ends right there. Rebecca elects to stay silent, or at least it's how it seems when a minute or two passes and she says nothing. A rare occurrence when she almost always has something on her mind.
I wasn't afraid to speak out.
Send that girl off! Only an uneasy atmosphere hangs in the air when I finally decide to remove myself from the room. Oh no, she didn't leave, we left. Okay, she doesn't stop me. Instead, something inexplicable flickers momentarily in her eyes. One that quickly disappears, only a vague notion of it remains in memory. But in that one exchange, I've caught a sure, clear glimpse of what has shifted, of what's inevitable. So much has changed throughout the years. We will never be the same person we once were. And if it's for the better, we've yet to know. A lull. A lull has descended in the main lounge once I return. G is nowhere to be seen. People continue to trickle out instead of in, and by the time I get back, only 2 tables remain occupied. Soon, these people too will be gone, and the whole place will be devoid of anyone. Frankly, its current state already lends the place an entirely different vibe. Along with the soothing strum of strings and the steady beat of drums playing overhead, there's a calming sense to this. A far cry from times A far cry from times I've been here before. And perhaps it's for this reason why Isabella has chosen this place to retreat. She sits quietly in the furthest corner of the room, and one of the tables is set right beside the windows. Jay usually keeps the curtains closed around this hour, but a small portion of it has been pulled back, revealing the busy streets outside. The late afternoon light spills right through it, outlining her small form and pulling on the surface of the table where both her arms rest. In her hands, she flips a piece of folded paper, turning it from one side to the other without any purpose. The letter. Roll credits. A small frown creases on her forehead while she stares at it. Yet there's something oddly tranquil in the picture she has unknowingly painted. Something I can't bring myself to disturb, if only for a few seconds. It's one of those moments again. The rare ones. The ones where she's too still, too quiet. A complete opposite of her usual self. But it's these that often leave a mark. Not her cheery disposition or lively attitude, but these short few seconds of wordless silence, when the softness sighs and the slightest movements sing louder. The smallest minuscule things that tell you about a person and her strength more than any words can express. It's these that carve a vivid memory, no matter how brief it lasts. Oh, hello. She glares at me, annoyed, and just like that, all of it melts away. Gone is the stillness, replaced quickly by the teasing and friendly jibes. Back again to what we're used to. What's easy, what's familiar, where every truth we hope to convey regrettably goes unsaid between us.
You're going to destroy an important piece of evidence if you keep doing that, Belle.
But she's far from angry. A bit upset, maybe. Who wouldn't be? While I do agree with Rebecca, her words still hit below the belt. Regardless, Isabella doesn't seem like she'll start shouting at me, at least compared to every other people I've aggravated, intentional or otherwise. Some light talk may just do the trick and coax her out of this mood.
Come on. If you keep staring at the table like that, you're going to bore a hole on it. I really don't want to OG a new table. He'll pick the most expensive one and leave me begging on the streets.
She levels a quick glance at me, her expression dry and impassive enough to drain every colour out of the room. It's as if I've just told her a terrible joke and she's expecting there'll be more of it.
I know them feels.
Ah, same. Really now. She needs to give me more credit than that. My jokes are funny when I want them to be.
Amen.
I really don't care. I'd even take pictures and post them online.
Of what? The letter?
You're doing us all!
Is she gone homicide? Like what?
Oh no, I think you meant like him begging on the streets and shit.
Oh, right. That's funny.
That's cold.
That is cold, to be fair. She's really upset.
Go away, Ash. I don't want to talk right now.
Yeah, it sounds half-hearted at best. Like what's happening has already sapped every bit of energy in her, and all that's left are the words. Pretty soon, those two will lose their meaning and leave a hollow shell in their wake. It's already unusual to see her like this. Everything has already gone to shit. I'd like, at least, this one thing to stay normal. So somehow we manage. We continue for the We continue for the better half of the hour, talking, joking, with her short, feeble responses and banter that never goes anywhere. But it's enough. In the grand scheme of things, amidst the chaos and death shadowing over us, it's these little inconsequential moments that matter. It's her smile, her laughter, when it finally rings, easy and free of her burdens.
Okay, I have another one.
I don't want to hear it, Ashton. Go away.
No, really, listen. I know someone who talks like an owl.
Will you leave me alone if I bite and ask who?
It's you.
A pause. And then she frowns as realization slowly dawns on her. Confusion flashes fleetingly across her face before eventually setting on a grimace.
Oh.
Oh.
There we go. Suddenly, she hugs her arms closer to herself and looks away, perhaps in her best attempt to stay angry.
I'm still angry at you, go.
To no avail. In a matter of seconds, her shoulders shake with laughter she's trying to contain.
There's that smile I've not seen in an area.
She's so cute. I love her.
You're awful, and I really hate you. Just leave.
No!
I love that.
I hate you, and I'm so angry.
It's contagious, her mirth. Soon, I'm joining her in it, briefly forgetting every problem that piled up and continues to weigh down on us. Laughing without reservation or care until only a familiar warmth lingers. Once both of our amusement ebbs away. Somehow, with her, these things have always come easy.
Feeling better?
A little. You're still lame.
But you're laughing right now.
Only because your humor is terrible.
Right. Keep telling yourself that. I know it's funny. And you know what? If you've kept frowning like that, your face might have cracked. That would have been really messy and ugly.
Oh. If glares can kill, with the one she sends my way, I'd probably be dead by
It's
now.
like fucking Superman heat visionize him.
Aye, she's like Medusa right now. Seeing it directed my way, it only takes for a few seconds for me to realise how she may have also taken my statement. How wrong and rude it might have sounded in her ears, however unintentional it is. I've never been good with words, but that's never an acceptable excuse, is it? Suddenly, taking the blunt of anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try.
What? Crap. Damn it, that was so not what I meant. I was just saying you look better when you're smiling.
I like how that's all one word.
I've just seen the other.
Her glare doesn't even wane. In fact, I think it intensified, like a brewing storm. Don't stir the pot. In the face of it, under the sharpness of her stare and her annoyance, I do what any person with a good sense of self-preservation does. Keep my mouth shut and shift my attention elsewhere. The crowd outside looks very interesting today. Maybe I should...
Thanks, Ash.
She utters all of it in a voice too small, too quiet. But when I turn to her, only those words, her gratitude, resonate throughout the whole room. Not the soft clicking of silverware somewhere, nor the last strains of music fading into silence above us. Instead, it's the meaning behind her gaze, as she holds mine, that lingers. Steady, unflinching, and open, in the same way she looked at me through all those years ago, with the bright eyes and expression softening into a tender smile.
I can already hear the fans like, hey, you two should kiss.
They really should, to be fair. I'm really torn though. I know the Slayer kid really likes this. This is like her ship,
Yeah.
Ashton and Isabella. But at the same time, I really liked Ashton and Becca. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of torn. But you know what? These two are cute. These two are really cute, so I ship it.
Smack yourself a champagne bottle and fucking christen that ship.
Aye. I didn't understand it then. How easy it is for her to wear her heart on her sleeve. How she never shies away from expressing herself, even among the people she barely knows. How she can go through everything without losing herself. Now it's among the hundreds and thousands that hang unspoken between us. Trivial, little things with worth still too big to put into words. Either because it's too early, or because there's never really a proper time. But for now, though, let me try that. But for now, though, this'll do. Until the moment itself dwindles.
Dwindles.
Itself dwindles. I'm putting a definition for that word too, because fucking why not? Dwindles. Until reality pulls us back in, reminding us of the things we've set aside in its favour.
Isabella, about what happened with Rebecca earlier.
I should probably apologize to Becca. I know she only means well. And I said some really bad things.
The corners of her mouth quirk up, almost as if she's too ashamed of the thing she said. I feel like if her relationship with Becca was a lot lower and they didn't get on, she'd be like, I'm not apologising to her, blah, 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 blah. But there's a burning in the back of my throat.
You okay?
I should be fine. But yeah. I feel like their relationship is high enough for them to just be like, okay.
Don't sweat, smell shit. Although, really, like, I know it's an incredibly stressful environment and that, but, like, to wish you were never here.
It's kind of
fucked up.
It's kind of fucked up.
Don't worry. She can be pretty stubborn, but she'll listen. Especially to you.
Sorry, Ash. But no, I just feel like Becca should be the one to initiate the apology, because I really think that's... I think she really needs to swallow that fucking pride.
She really does. Fuck your pride.
You think?
You're one of the few people she likes. She won't stay angry for long. I can vouch for it.
She has a point, though. Isabella freezes. In an instant, the pleasant air around us dissipates. She shifts her attention back to her hands again, both clenched so tightly that her knuckles visibly pale.
I know, Ash. I just thought we'd find something in there. That if I go back, we'll get the answers we need. I found the letter there, so maybe, right?
It's not that I don't agree with her. Hell, I've been considering the same thing. It's the only lead we have after all. But Rebecca also has a point I will always agree with, no matter how desperate I am. It's not going to be a simple walk in the park. Who knows what we might find in there? If she comes with me, I won't be able to guarantee her safety. She'll be in even greater danger. Hence, alone. Exactly as I've told Zach. If there's a need to go back to that accursed place, I'm doing it on my own. Whether or not the rest of them agree with this plan is inconsequential.
Inconsequential, motherfucker.
Inconsequential. Either one.
That's the same word.
Yeah. Their well-being is my top priority, and I'm not just about to drag them in there with me. So, I tell her as much, despite the determination and desperation in her eyes.
Oh,
another choice, of course.
They're coming thick and fast out of nowhere, man.
These choices are very similar, though. You know what I mean? It's dangerous. I can't let you do that.
I think... wait, what's the relationship before we pop?
Obviously, it's gone pretty high.
It's high as... Oh, Isabella and Zachary are tied now.
Yeah.
For love. Mm-hmm. Wait, so it's there? I'm putting my thumb on the screen for everybody who doesn't know.
They're very similar.
So...
we need to get us back up with Rebecca somehow. We have to.
I know.
Before this chapter ends, you know what I mean?
You need to calm the fuck down, bitch.
Yes, definitely.
But I think, like, when you say it's dangerous, I think that's you try to appeal to their logic.
Uh-huh.
Whereas... That's thinking with your head. Mm-hmm. I think I can't let you do that. It's like, I care about you too much. Did you do that? I love you.
So, well, I saved, didn't I? Yeah, I saved. Let's go for, I can't let you do that.
I can't let you do that, Belle.
It went up.
It went
yes.
Ash, the people living in that place now. They were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are.
I know, but it's risky. It's dangerous. We don't know what you might find in there. Or if you'll even find anything.
The thing is, like, every argument he's using to dissuade these people from going, he's planning to go!
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what? You can't go alone. It's stupid and dangerous. Now stay here while I go to the mansion alone.
And do something stupid and dangerous.
But I have a gun!
Her again. What if she goes after you? What are you going to do?
A gun makes everything safer.
For all we know, it might be a dead end. It's not worth it. To put yourself in harm's way like that.
Yes, it is.
She offers no response. Not even a form of resistance. No further argument like I've come to expect from her. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin, till the air in the whole room grows heavy. In front of her, her hands in front of her, her hand still stays curled up. That was a tongue twister.
Oh, it should be hand still stay. It should.
Aye.
But okay, it's fine, no big deal.
Like it's holding onto everything she wishes to say, but can't. I like to think that, yes, to some extent, she understands. Even if she does not entirely agree with me, the dilemma's clear in her. Otherwise, her scowl wouldn't have a deeper set to it. Her lips wouldn't be pressed in a thin line, or her hand would no longer be balled into fists. She would have pushed that argument if she doesn't, and I know she has a lack of things to say. Instead, she simply offers a nod. And acquiesce. I'm putting another definition. There's so many definitions in this episode. Definitions. And the more definitions, the better. Put that in your textbooks, y'all. What? Huh?
Read it.
In a moment of boldness, perhaps insolence, I reach out for her, taking her clenched fists in mine and drawing them closer to me.
This year. You're here.
She sucks in her breath.
It's like as soon as you touch her hand.
She sucks in her breath, soft and sharp.
Unhand me thought.
But doesn't say anything. Merely watching as both my hands cradle hers. Cautious, mindful, as if it's the most precious thing I've held.
Just sitting staring like that.
Oh, it's so cute. Then again, maybe it is. Along with everything I've yet to convey.
Stop that.
Stop!
You're the one holding my hands.
Surprisingly, although the gesture has startled her, she yields, allows a touch that is far too familiar and more than what I'm willing to give most.
You're going to hurt yourself if you keep doing that.
Gently, I unfurl her fingers, flattening out each digit against my palms. Her nails have already created small dents in her skin from how tightly she has held it close. A little more and she would have drawn blood. Deep as it is, smoothing a thumb over the tiny marks does nothing. But it's a small gesture we both find comfort in amongst this chaos. And all at once, the tension lifts. Her expression softens and the lines in her shoulders ease. And it is only after her lips curve into a faint smile that I let go. Giving her hand one last squeeze before returning it to her. They're so fucking cute. Part of me wants to tell her, admit that it's exactly what I'm planning tonight. What good will it do though? I've already told Zach, one person is enough. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to in case things don't pan out. Expect the worst, even if I've only intended to do a quick survey of the place.
3 hours is not a quick survey.
That's not a quick survey.
There are football games that last 3 hours.
Yes. In my own words, riskily. Like that lasts for a long...
Risky.
That lasts longer than an episode that we do.
Yeah.
It's best that I simply leave it as it is for now. Isabella doesn't need to be burdened with worry my entire scheme entails. I stand up as soon as my footsteps shuffle. I can't speak. I'm getting all choked up. This is really cute. I stand up as soon as my footsteps shuffle from the next room. Its cadence slow and hesitant. Oh, hello, Pinky.
Sup, bitch! I'm joking.
Hello, Miss Pink.
I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing. I hope you've calmed the fuck down.
Aye, same. I hope she's calmed the fuck down. Shortly, Rebecca comes into view, clutching her hands firmly in front of her and sporting the same uncertainty in her face. She casts me a cursory look, then shifts a nervous one to Isabella, who studies her with an almost hopeful gleam in her eye. Their fights never did last long.
Belle, can we talk
No, fuck you.
alone?
Her interruption could not have come sooner, and I'm all the more glad for it. Whatever kind of friendship I share with the two, this remains something for only the two of them, much like my own with Zach. I'm the outsider. They don't need me here. It's all the reason I need. Mutter an excuse and flashing Isabella a quick, knowing smile, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave them to mend things on their own. Before Isabella can say what she's been mulling over, before the last imploring glance she directs my way forces me to change my mind, it's another lasting image that firmly etches itself in my memory. One that spurs the conscience, among other things. Sorry. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight. Oh, we're back outside. Let's make this a slightly longer episode. Do you want to quickly continue this?
Oh, sure.
I'll let you read a little bit.
Galway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter, slipping out mostly unseen becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxbourne night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impeding rain. I'll give about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the one we've had this morning. On instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material closer to my body, while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay it no mind as I hurry towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this is all connected, I need this damn piece of paper with me. However, ridiculous as it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either. But I can't waste time here and wait for her to find out, can I? 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. 3, if I'm inclined to go by the rules Z-Man set, but when have I ever? Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make a beeline for my car. But as with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does. In the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car.
Oh.
Rebecca turns just as I near, the corners of her mouth twitching up in a wry smile. She offers up no greeting except for a slight tilt of her head. I don't like this. Something about this is wrong.
You think?
Even as, well, just the fact like she seemed to blow out of proportion, she seems a lot angry normal, and like, see the weird head tilt thing? Like,
not to mention she's just waiting for us outside of our car.
Even as my pace slows and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes.
She's probably gone yandere, sorry.
She remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up at the starless sky when I come up and stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away, while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. The air's already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring, there's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Still, she stands there as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That, or she's here for some other reason. But before I can voice a single word, express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, sharply cutting off the rest of my question.
I'm not here to stop you, wherever it is you're planning to go off tonight. I won't be able to anyway. You look like you've already made up your mind.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I will, in a moment. I just want to stay out here a bit for some air, away from the noise inside. Everything's been so chaotic these days. This A little break is nice. Even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places. Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey, you take what you can get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When, in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. If this fails, if I don't find anything, we're back to square one. It's the last lead I have. After this, we have nothing else to go off from. Regardless, it seems to amuse her, and her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light draft sweeping around us.
How I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind whenever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try. But, you know, it also did a lot to us.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us. As people. I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it also brought out an ugly side to us. To all of us. And it made me realize plenty of things. About myself. About us.
Rebecca trails off. Suddenly, a pensive expression spreads across her face. I've seen it countless of times before. And every time I see it on her, it's usually followed by a memory. A silly story or even something embarrassing I've said from childhood.
We dressed you up as a girl.
It's like, God damn it, I know! Unlike me, who'll much rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. And after a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know this is one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time, back in secondary?
Which one? We did a lot of dumb things back then. Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something?
Oh no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but it's nothing like that. We're not friends. Not in this lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah? You stood up for me that day. And from then on, things have changed.
She makes it sound like I'm some sort of a hero. Mandy was in the wrong, of course. I'll defend her. If no one's going to stand up for her, who else will? Chances are it would have escalated, and who knows, maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. Any decent human being with an ounce of sense should know better. I acted because I know what I'm doing is what's right. It's as simple as that. That sounds pretty heroic.
Yeah.
Yet she smiles as if it's worth more than that. A fondness that goes beyond nostalgia.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, this time, I don't want this to go unsaid. You know, just in case something happens. Ash, I've always been in love with you.
Oh. So she finally expresses her true feelings.
Go!
Things are getting mushy.
She says it so plainly, holding my gaze and in a voice too frank, that her admission stuns me into silence. Like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words will form. Not even a single coherent thought as the meaning of her words bear down on me. Nevertheless, she continues, desperate to express everything she has kept to herself all these years. This is what the fondness is. Why, for her, it weighs heavier than any feelings of nostalgia can carry.
Since that time in secondary? Since I made that promise to never leave, I've always truly loved you.
Afterwards, there is relief. A weight suddenly being lifted from her shoulders after so long. She closes her eyes and lets out a breath. When she looks back to me though, there's nothing but hope in them. Eyes that are searching for an answer. Facing the sincerity in her words, I find myself grasping, scrambling for the words. Because as much as this pains me to admit, I can't give her the same affection she's asking from me. We may have spent so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. But that never automatically means I'll ever hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life. I'm more than glad that she's stuck with me even through the toughest moments. Even when she finds me difficult or aggravating. However, it's really all there is to it. She's a close, important friend to me. But nothing more.
Rebecca, I'm...
I draw in a breath, ragged and unsure, uncertain how and which words to put together so it will hurt her less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or scar. But before I can even string two phrases together, she lifts a hand to my mouth and silences me. Love me! Smiles on her face, kinder than every single one I've ever seen from her so far. It's nice to see it on her. It suits her more than the glares or the frowns. But at the same time, it only serves to baffle me. You don't have to answer me.
Yeah, but you should... I should...
No, I mean, you don't need to.
Okay, now I'm really confused.
Is it what?
Oh, she's got the cutest smile ever though.
When do we ever get to see? It's better when you have that, not that vein popping out of your fucking skull.
Aye.
Be happy.
She's adorable.
One moment you're saying you've been in love with me since secondary, now you're telling me to shut up?
If you want to interpret it like that, all right.
No, really. Some explanation would be nice, Becca. Because a lot of things are going on right now, and I'm afraid I can't catch up. Especially with this curveball you just threw.
It means what it means, Ashton. You don't need to answer me. I don't really need to hear it anymore. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, if I were the same person I was before this whole thing happened to us, I'd be elated, excited even. But like I said, I also realized some things. Understood myself more. Ash, I did love you. Ever since we were kids, all those times you defended me from bullies. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Even after this. But at the end of the day, once you take a closer look at everything, it also turned me into a really selfish person. When you think about it, maybe the Ashton I loved isn't the one standing in front of me right now.
Oh.
Maybe all this time, I'm still clinging on to that aloof kid I met 17 years ago. I didn't even consider that you have a mind of your own. That one day, it won't just be the two of us. That you'll find someone else and it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Becca.
I'm not even sure what I'm apologising for. That I can't return her feelings? Or because I'm somehow holding myself responsible for this? Even if up until now, I have no idea how she felt. Regardless, she continues to smile through all of it.
It's not your fault. Don't say that. I'm the one who should apologize. Since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do, I just thought I should let you know, so I can finally let this whole thing go. One question though. Are you going to tell her?
Tell what to who?
She knows.
Mm-hmm.
I pause, frowning. A brief moment of doubt while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. When it finally sinks in, though, my bewilderment hastily gives way to utter embarrassment.
Oh.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, shit.
Heat abruptly crawls up my face, no matter my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid of what else she'll see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice?
Was it that obvious?
Yeah.
It was surprisingly easy to tell. But that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Fuck, who else knows?
Zach.
I think Zach suspects.
Yes.
Shit.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too hard. It's almost painful to watch. Don't worry. With your terrible way of flirting, and knowing her, I'm quite sure Belle has no idea, even now. Not even a clue.
She's dense.
Harsh, Rebecca. Really harsh. I could use a vote of confidence, you know.
Oh no, you're fucked. She laughs. Loud. The kind that's free of any burden. Ring above the wind, slowly picking up as the storm clouds approach.
Approach.
With it, however, the awkward atmosphere lifts at last. There's only that camaraderie we've shared since meeting in that classroom 17 years ago.
I'm serious though. Tell her.
You
And
fuckboy.
if you ever make her cry, I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
That's her weapon of choice.
Yep.
If she was in an RPG, her main weapon would be books.
I mean, like, she KO'd Luke with it, she KO'd a ghost with it. She is lethal with it.
She has her hand at history books. She really does. She chooses her weapon wisely.
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do. Just promise me you'll be careful, alright?
She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she gives me a push, with a force only heavy enough to throw me off balance.
Falls over.
Caught unawares by the gesture for a few moments. I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up, with a string of reprimands ready at the tip of my tongue, Rebecca's already halfway through the parking lot. There's a small skip in her steps, while the breeze carries the light tune she's whistling. On a whim, I let its notes be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping inside my car and driving off. It sounds like a new beginning. More than anything, another reason to be optimistic.
Wow. Right, I'm glad what we thought was going to happen didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at least they were able to, like, you know, don't beep at me. At least, you know, they were able
Character
to...
development.
Yeah, character development. That
I
was
like
really
the
nice.
fact, like, because what we were saying there, like, she's been like a really selfish person and that. I just like the fact that finally she's grown up enough to take a look at it and go, I'm happy.
Yeah. That was nice. That was really nice. I really liked that.
It's nice as fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think this would be a good place to leave the episode.
Why?
Definitely, because we are over an hour.
But no, that was beautiful.
Yes.
We are off on the magical adventure to the mansion ourselves like an idiot.
And we're going to die! No, we're going to try and keep Ashton alive.
At the Grace thing, we're going to pop Luke right in the fucking head.
Because he deserves it.
Yeah. But no, thanks for everyone. Be sure to go into Mrs. Flubber's Flubber shop and the library and the Sleepy Sheep Inn. But just try to bring in as much plugs as we can.
Plugs?
Yeah, like, you know, advertisements.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No, thanks everyone for listening. I'll see you in the next one when we're going to get scared. Get this goodbye from me and don't let your members ram.
Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Roll the outro! Now.